Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome back to another episode of our glorious Workers and Resources Soviet Republic Let's Play. I have to say I am extremely proud of the giant strides our nation has been taking over these last handful of sessions. We've been making some good progress overall, but these last handful of sessions especially, we've been checking off some boxes, some long-term objectives have been fulfilled. We are finally exporting fuel and bitumen. We are seeing some sustainability as far as our food production is concerned as well, with an ever-growing nation. That is a constant challenge, of course. And we're right around the corner from seeing the automobile industry kick off as well. So very exciting times ahead, folks, and with a lot to do. I don't want to bore you with a prolonged introduction, though I do just want to make mention of my once-a-month mention. I try to keep it at a bare minimum, but folks, if you have been really enjoying this series and you would like to support the channel, I humbly request you perhaps check out my Patreon, linked under the I at the top right corner of the screen and also in the description down below. And if a third-party service like Patreon is not your thing, you can also consider becoming a channel member. You can do that by clicking the join button down below, or you can, of course, use the link in the description down below as well. As always, it is never an obligation. Don't feel like you must do that or anything like that, but the extra support really does help the channel, really helps keep it alive and running smoothly, and it especially helps me sort of get an understanding for what people are interested on the channel to that degree, obviously. As always, don't forget to leave your likes and comments as well to keep mini-series like this alive and running for a very long time as well. But yes, if you would like to, think of it like a Netflix subscription or like a Twitch subscription, it really helps the channel out, and you get some extra perks and stuff with it as well. And as always, again, I can't stress this enough, it is not an obligation. That's why I try not to mention it too often, outside of just, once a month at most is what I aim for. With all that said, folks, let's get this party started, shall we? There is, like I said, so much to do. It is nighttime right now, and I'm glad we actually got to do a little bit of a nighttime helicopter flyby, so to speak, of the nation, just to see how everything looks at night. It is really quite beautiful. Honestly, I gotta say, sorry, I know I said let's get this party started, but I have to share with you just how much I love this. Let's just look, it's so beautiful, right? Like you have this bright spot over here. You've got the really bright spot up over there with Uprising Grad. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and then I just can't get over how beautiful this statue looks. Again, this is a modded piece, but it looks so beautiful, especially when it's lit the way it's lit. Just absolutely, my God. Anyway, with that done, let's legitimately now get this party started. A quick check on our stats right now. We've got over 52k living in our glorious nation. Solid population growth is great to see. It was also mentioned actually in the comments of, I think, the previous episode, that a 5% unemployment rate is not the end of the world. And it's been mentioned before as well that having a little bit of unemployment isn't a terrible thing, because it means you have some wiggle room in case of an emergency construction or anything like that, which is fair. And I mean, we're roughly at the 10% mark as far as unemployment is concerned right now, though we have seen, as you can see with the chart, we have seen some fluctuation going on. I would like to get to that, that 5% marker seems like a fair marker. Let's try and at least aim for that with some consistency, but to do that, there is a fair bit of work required, of course. I also want to consider, I believe I touched on this last session, I also want to consider the reach of our radio stations and TV stations. Right now, we are not reaching, you can see the potential outreach for population is nowhere near our entire population. So I definitely want to correct that with our local radio stations and our local TV stations. That will also provide some employment down by Uprising Grad. So very excited to do some of that expansion. Maybe some of it today, but there's a lot of stuff to tackle today actually. So I don't know if we'll get to that, but that is one of the upcoming plans. With that addressed, I also want to address one more thing before I hit play. It has been clarified to me now what the issue is over here from this fuel storage to this cargo harbor or to this pumping harbor. The issue is that it's the same thing as warehouses. You cannot daisy chain from a storage to a harbor. You need to have a pump. Sorry, that's not a pump. But you need to have a pump, which is one of these, to distribute so that it'll actually force the fuel through. Because what happens, from my understanding, is, this is how I like justify it in game, when a ship comes through, it has the mechanism required to pull the fuel or the bitumen, and so it pulls from these. But as far as filling the tank, it doesn't have a pulling mechanism. So you need something to push. And a pumping station does that. It pushes the fuel into the, gas tank. So yeah, that's the issue over here. Now, I could put down a pumping station to sort that out, but we have one solo truck doing the job. It's coming down over here, picking up fuel, and dropping it off at both of these spots. I feel like that's fine. We can keep that going for now. We can later on revisit this and adjust it and put a pumping station down to fix this in that way, and that truck can be repurposed for something else. But we've bought the truck. It's doing the work. Let it be for now. Employing just another truck driver or what have you, even though that doesn't count towards unemployment. We can make that our headcanon for now, and later on we'll sort that out. Now, with that said, though, because fueling is now fixed, we are able to get rid of the St. Partia cargo harbor for both you and for you, and we shouldn't need that redundancy. Again, pointed out in the comments. Like I say, folks, I read all of the comments, so if you have feedback, opinions, thoughts, suggestions, questions, keep them coming. All right, let's go ahead and hit play. Most of today will probably be played in double speed, but I just want to, at the beginning of a session, I like to just kind of like get my head back in the game, refresh my memory and whatnot, and it helps to do that when things aren't going at, double speed and barreling past me. Also, very nice to see, actually. I'm really pleased to see this highway getting as much action as it is getting. Not as much as I would have loved. I would love to see even more, but at least it's getting something, and it is alleviating some of the traffic pressure on the regular road, I suppose. It's either a flyover or just a road, right? I don't know. I'm very pleased with that. It feels very city-like, It feels like, yes, this is a proper city now that needs this kind of road network and whatnot. Everything else is moving pretty smoothly. Up over here, we're waiting on the mechanical components factory to be completed, and then we can start considering getting workers over. Again, we're going to pay for this track over here. We're going to have trams, I think, bringing people over rather than trains. And yeah, this stuff we should be able to build you now as well. Yep, because it's fully connected now. We get all this done. It's gonna be, let's see, we've got this track connected here, so we're able to bring steel over to the vehicle production area, drop it off over here, automatically make the mechanical components over here, automatically, no more automation. We'll need some forklifts to bring the same steel over to the electrical components factory, which will make components, which then get made into electronics over here, but for that we'll need plastics, and the plastics and the mechanical components and the electronic components, well, the mechanical and electrical, so the plastics will need to be brought in via truck from up over here. Yes, sorry, this is something I've needed to like refamiliarize myself with, because again, we established this a very long time ago. I can't remember which episode number it was, but it was a very long time ago. So just refreshing my memory. And we are going to have a bit of a struggle over here, unfortunately. I've been told that forklifts do not, in fact, carry vehicles, which, right, of course, that makes sense. So we're going to have a bit of a roundabout approach over here. It's not the end of the world, honestly. Like, I'm not upset about it. I could swap this road cargo station out for a different one. Can road cargo stations pick up vehicles? I need to figure that out. What actually picks up vehicles? I'll need to figure that out. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to get. Oh, right. This is one thing I wanted to check. This is one uncertainty that I just want to remind us all of. I just want to check this fire over here first, really quickly. We should be okay, right? Fire truck was called, headed over. We should be okay here. Yes, we are. Okay. The trucks are right there. Okay, so what I was getting at was we've got the factory connection up over here, going down this way, and then through daisy-chained forklift garages. My hope is that we can pick up steel over here through a forklift and deliver it all the way up over here. So they'll receive their steel that way. In terms of fabric and everything, it's going to be a struggle getting it all to the warehouse. Fabric, actually, we're not producing near here. Fabric would maybe come from up over here, from Trainwreckski, right? Because we are producing fabric up over here. I don't think we have a surplus, because we are converting all that into clothes. Now, fabric requires crops and chemicals. So if we wanted to add fabric to this entire network over here, an easy, so to speak, way to do it would be somewhere over here, right? Because we've got chemicals coming out from here. if we added a fabric factory over here, and then that way it could be delivered to the same warehouse to be brought over by the same trains, right? So if we were to do that, various industry, I believe, fabric factory. How big are you? You're about yay big. Okay. So we could put this down over here probably, and use footpaths to get workers over here. Would be able to connect. I would connect it to the warehouse rather than to the chemical factory. It's one more step, but I think it's cleaner, I suppose. We would do something like that. Another crossroads over here. Yeah, we could do that. Produce the fabric right over here. Seems like a reasonable approach. Lots of workers coming over here as well, right? Like, we'd have to redistribute this a little bit, but we have lots of workers coming over here anyway. So why not add it over here? We have the space for it. Past PartyElite was clearly, you know, thinking ahead without me even realizing. So let's go ahead and get the, yeah, let's get that done right now. Why wait? Let's get that done. Let's get Zavod's construction office working on it right away as well. So we're going to want to demolish this. And the thing is, like, we're topped up on chemicals, plastics we're actually exporting to try and make. Remember, there's a truck, I think it's just the one truck right now that is shipping some plastics out. We've got this surplus over here of everything. It's not the end of the world if we spend some time building this ourselves. There is still some time yet for the tracks to be completed over here. We'll keep our eyes on those as well to make sure they're being done. There's still some time for that, so it really isn't the end of the world for us to spend a little bit of time building stuff like this out ourselves. If the tracks get completed before this building is completed, then sure, then I can reconsider, you know, just paying for this instead. Now, how do I want to go about doing this? The first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and put down another connection crossing over here, I think. That doesn't want to connect to everything, eh? There we go. Not the neatest. Certainly is not the neatest. I don't like that. I'd like it to be nice and neat. Let's see, if I do this, let's say, because that's pretty clean. We are not auto building, we are still paused. Let's go ahead and hit play. If I want to do that, and I want to do, where are we? Various industry, fabric factory, like so. You won't let me because of the infrastructure. I'll have to remove that and reestablish it. Or, let's go ahead and get rid of you. Get rid of you as well. Let's see. That's going to connect up there. So let's go ahead and get you established again. I wish I'd put, like, it's neat. I don't like it when things are, like, almost perfect, you know? Like, if they're, like, really bad, that's one thing. Because it's just like, okay, it's really bad because it had to be. But if it's almost perfect, it feels like, well, you coulda fixed this. You coulda done this better. You know, that I can't. I just can't. So this actually works out nicely. This is nice and straight. This is nice and straight. We've got this, which is a nice curve as well. I'm very pleased with that. It's similar to the old look. We're gonna go ahead and put you down. Okay, can't build you to infrastructure. Which one? The bottom road, okay, or the top over here. So let's go ahead and get rid of this again. So we can put this down, right? And it should be able to fit infrastructure road at the bottom there. There we go. So if I go ahead and flatten, I want to make sure we don't auto connect over here. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and put you down here. Put the road down over here. Get the factory connections working properly as well. So we have you connecting up over here, too sharp of a turn. When did that happen? Why did that happen? Is that because of this? Yep, this has changed a little bit. We gotta adjust this now. Not a problem, not a problem. Demolish this. Let's go ahead and height from center this. There we go. That should do the trick. Go ahead and demolish this because guaranteed it'll get in the way. And let's go back to building the fabric factory. There we go. Pop you down over here like so. Shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully, we'll find out. There we go. There we go. Perfect. 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 Connect you like so, and connect you like so. There we go. And the road connects like so. So, what happens? Chemicals get taken to the warehouse. They get taken to the plastics factory to produce plastics. Or they get taken to the fabric factory produce fabric alongside the crops that are stored at the warehouse, thanks to the train connection eventually. That'll bring crops from this warehouse over, but for now it is a truck, I believe. Oh, this just got completed as well. I should probably take a look at establishing all that. Well, we don't the intensity isn't here just quite yet. Oh man, everything's been built up over here actually, except for the fire station, which we should most certainly assign Uprising Grad's construction office. Okay, so crops are coming through. Who's bringing the crops through actually? Related vehicles, you're bringing plastics out, you're bringing crops in. You're bringing crops in to the warehouse, yes, from the agro farm. Good. I want to make sure the crops are coming to the warehouse and not to the chemical plant specifically. So the crops get dropped off at the warehouse, and they get taken by forklifts either to the chemical plant or to the fabric factory, because again, the fabric factory needs chemicals and crops. Okay, cool, fantastic. This is all working. You are commissioned. Uprising Grad's construction office is working there. That's what I meant earlier. I think I said Zavodsk earlier. I meant Uprising Grad, sorry. And let's go ahead and get you guys all being worked on as well. Uprising Grad looks like it has, yep, automatically detected all of this work that needs to be done except for you. So let's go ahead and get that done. Thank you very much. Excellent, 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 and beautiful. Oh. What rather, actually, I can't assign anything yet until at least one of these factory connections is done. Okay, cool. So that works out quite nicely, actually. And the factory, or the forklift garage will have to do some reassigning after all this stuff is rebuilt. Just got to keep that in mind, but otherwise that's pretty promising. Okay, so now, now plastics and fabrics will be brought up to, well, here. Plastics and fabrics will be dropped off over here. Steel will be dropped off over here to be used by this to make mechanical components, this to actually make cars. The plastics will be brought over to the assembly hall. We also need to bring chemical... Man, this is such an involved space. This needs chemicals and steel and plastics. Okay, so we need to bring chemicals up here as well. Well, that's why we're storing chemicals at this warehouse too. Right, let's not forget. Okay, so all that stuff gets stored at the warehouse and distributed. I do wish... Nah, it just won't be possible. I was going to say, I do wish we had, like, a factory connection bringing those chemicals and stuff. Those are mechanical components. We'll be fine. We can't automate everything, right? You need trucks for some stuff. And this is one of those cases where, like, chemicals will need to be trucked over down here, and plastics as well. Chemical and plastics will both need to be trucked over down here. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that, I think. Maybe. Potentially. We'll toy around with it in the future. Okay, that all makes sense. So this will all work. We now have everything we need, I think, being produced down over here to actually build cars, right? Because we'll have plastics, we'll have mechanical components, we'll have electronic components, we'll have electronics, we'll have fabric, we'll have steel. Beautiful. Okay. Wow. That took a little bit longer than I'd anticipated, but I'm really glad to have just revisited that. Not just revisited that, but revisited that together, so we all know what's going on. So if any questions come up, we are, familiar with it. Now, this was brought up in the comments as well with regards to our distribution rework over here. You guys are bringing stuff from the road cargo station here to the shopping center. Now, you are from where? You are from here, I take it? Yes. That's what it was. Because these guys are still loading from this area. And I need to fix that. I need to get rid of you. And instead, I need to assign this to load from. Food and clothes. Yes. Eventually electronics and well, electronics as well. Because again, we're trying to remove the stress on this one singular cargo station over here. So you'll recall this is bringing everything in from Train Rexky, dropping everything off over here, and then this and this is then proceeding to pick all that stuff up and then distribute it across the city. Now, there was some suggestion about flipping it around, I think, if I understood the suggestion correctly, about assigning them differently. And that is an option. I mean, you're coming over that way. Come down this way. Yeah, because I guess that way these trucks would never even be stopped by the trucks that are bringing food in, because these would just kind of like use these roads to get down to here, while the other one would use these roads to get over to here. Fair. Okay, fair. Fair. Rainrexki, Vecherinkograd, cargo station, meat storage, work cargo. Why do I have... Oh, this is the other set, right. Right, that's why. The new set that was just built. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get rid of you. And let's also actually get rid of you, just so that I can keep my load and unloads together. Here and here. All the way down here. Unload meat, unload food. We're not bringing clothes, are we? No, we're not. Well, that is something I should consider as well, bringing clothes to this central location. Because right now clothes are being brought in from pretty far away, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, done. So then let's go ahead and reassign you. Get rid of this, and you know what, let's also actually get rid of this again, trying to keep it clean. You and you. For loading. Food. I guess food is all from here, because we're not doing clothes yet, right? We are. It must be manually bringing in clothes with like a manual thing or a separate distribution office. I can check, in fact. I can check. Well, I'll check later. For now, let's just get this fixed first. Got you, and let's go ahead and get you as well. Get rid of this. Add meat. Loading. And you as well. Loading food and clothes. Loading, yes. And you are also, just want to check, loading and... Loading. What is this? The Vecherinkograd warehouse for clothes directly? Why would you do that? Is it because I made a silly mistake? No, that's this. Oh, I see. There it is. Okay. So you're what's bringing the clothes back. So let's not also load from here. Okay. Okay. Sorry, let us load from here. Oof, okay, this is a bit of a mess. We'll have to clean this up at one point. It's sustaining itself right now, and it works. It does work. I see what I was thinking there. It's just a little disorganized, which I'll want to clean up eventually. But for now, we haven't been struggling for a while, I believe. So let's keep it as is. Let's not fix what isn't broken while we're in the middle of still trying to accomplish some other things. Food, though, food is probably headed over right now. Not to the kindergarten, but down over here. Waiting at the station. Currently headed to the building. I mean, is food being delivered right now? Are you food? You're not food, you're meat. Are you food? You're food. Yeah, okay. Again, it's only bringing 1.5 tons. It's because it ships out when it first goes below the threshold at the destination. I don't know. It's I feel like the distribution offices need a little bit of tweaking in how they work to make them more more efficient, I guess. I don't know if I want... It's like it needs to be able to predict how much it will be at, or you should be able to say like load every truck to the fullest or something. I don't know what the best solution for that would be, but the problem is that the moment this falls below 90%, that's the threshold, a truck is sent out with the amount that would bring it to that threshold. So that first truck isn't carrying enough. Should more food be eaten between when that truck goes out and when it arrives? You know what I'm saying? But then the second truck that comes through does hit that threshold, because the second truck gets sent a little bit later. Depending on how much later it is, that threshold will either be hit again or not. It's so, yeah. I like the system overall, but it definitely, I always feel a little bit uncomfortable with that particular aspect of it. And with how often we'll have, like you can see, like this is clothes coming right now. Food, I imagine, is not too far behind. We've got meat over here, but like barely any meat. Like, why is so little meat being brought over at any given time? 0.08 tons. We have 63 tons over here. You know, that should never be the situation. And then 0.75 tons of food, right? Because it was sent out right when this went below the 90% threshold. Stuff like that just concerns me from time to time. And I think that's where we get things like, oh, a handful of citizens here and there not able to get food. It's not that bad. Again, I was celebrating this last session. I'm still celebrating it. It's really quite good, but I wish I'd never have to see that without having to manually assign the delivery of goods like that. Okay, these guys are growing while these guys are harvesting, so that's worked out nicely in terms of timing. I hope the moment these are done harvesting, these will start harvesting. We'll see. But okay, so that's, we've taken a look at this, we've cleaned all this up, we've cleaned up our ships as well. It was suggested that instead of having a distribution office move crops back and forth, I just assign a couple of trucks to do it. I don't think that's a terrible idea, actually. Just because, again, it'll be a more consistent flow. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Saint Partia grain storage. And instead, again, we have, over here, we have one covered already. So let's go ahead and, yeah, let's just do it manually. Let's create you, pick up over there, drop off over here. Unload, load, there we go. Start you, and you know what? I might actually buy another one. Let's do 2. I think 2 is a decent decent number. Where are we? Covered hull. There we go. Copy yours over to this guy over here, and just to check St. Portia grain storage, we pick up the crops. More Grainsky, we drop off the crops. Yes, excellent. That's exactly what we want. And for those of you asking about removing names, I saw a question just to quickly show you. If you click on the name, it's got to like hover gold. You click on the name, you press that little X there, and you can get rid of a name. But there has to be a name within a certain radius of an area for the game to, I guess, understand what's going on. So you might not be able to delete every name, but that's the button you want to click to delete. That's the button you want to click to rename. I saw it asked, so I figured I'd just answer it rather than in writing, just in video, because then there's a visual aid as well. I'm a very visual learner myself. There was also the question of fuel. Sorry, let's go ahead and stop all this import from happening. And you're fine, though. Okay. Don't recall how or when, but you're okay, so fair enough. These harbors are not necessarily being used to refuel our ships, so I'm fine with fuel only being available down over here. Now, if I see that becomes a problem, then we might want to rework how fuel works over here in terms of getting fuel to these harbors as well, so that ships can refuel up over there too. But that should hopefully prevent the importing of any fuel. If we take a look at import, we haven't imported any this month yet. It's only been 5 days. Last month we did import the slightest bit. So it might have actually been like up over here, right? Because it was still buying if a ship needed to refuel or decided to refuel without needing to. That might be what was going on. Okay, so that's all that taken care of. Just massive like checklist over here. Let's just do a quick check down over here. It looks like the train, like the track construction is still going on with minimal, if not no issues. So that's promising, and I think we're good to double speed it. Go for it. Get some more accomplished. All good. This is all good. This is all good as well. Oh my god, this is almost done. Absolutely wild. This is almost done. But let's not get stuck there. Let's not get stuck in that conversation. What's the deal down over here? We've got lots of workers, lots of passengers. It looks like there's a decent flow now. Or like I'm seeing workers get picked up. I'm about to see passengers get picked up as well, I think. I'm wondering if I need even more vehicles. Yeah, passengers getting picked up. Students getting picked up. Another vehicle coming through to pick up more workers. Okay, excellent. This is going pretty well, I would say. This is going significantly better than it was before, for sure. Over here, we added that little express route, right? So we should be seeing fewer workers over here, but it was just 2 buses, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Let me see all of our lines here, custom lines. What was I looking for? What was I looking for? Line short. There we go. We've got 2 vehicles on it right now. Well, hopefully, it's doing the job. It's picking them up over here, where workers aren't allowed. This was also pointed out in the comments. So this I need to change. This I need to change, because you're coming down to trolley bus stop 4, and you're going up to there. So instead, I need you to come to here. A platform small, and you're only picking up workers, no matter the education. You're unloading them. Whoops, you're unloading them up over there. Right, this was for... Hold on. This was supposed to be for workers, if I recall correctly. Because the issue was that there were workers over here that weren't getting picked up because they were all being picked up over here. Right, because passengers... I'm pretty sure we were seeing a good rate of passengers being picked up. Even though I've named it passenger line short, I think I want it to be the workers. Well, I could keep this line for if I need it. I could keep this line for if I need it. I guess this was for passengers then, because people weren't getting food and stuff. Wow, I can't believe I'm like blanking on this, but I do want to have another one for workers as well. I do want to have another one for workers as well. Here's what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to go ahead and get you and you. You're only going to load... Well, right, I can't do it like this. Fine, let's buy a couple more buses. Rather, no. Sorry, I have a little bit of back and forth thing from me over here. Because I want to replace the passengers with poly buses. So I should do that first. Which model are we using again? The ZIU-10. ZIU-10, right? Pause for a second here. Yeah, the ZIU-10. Go ahead and get a couple of you. And you, we're going to go ahead and assign the line, which is the passenger line short. And for you as well, we're going to assign passenger line short. Where'd you go? There we go. Cool. Start and start. Meanwhile, the buses who are on passenger line short, which is you and you are instead going to go onto a different line. We can go ahead and add this, where you will pick up workers. Here you will drop off workers. Get rid of this. Yes. View line details. Yes, that's right. And this will be called the Uprising Grad Center Workers Bus Short. Okay, there we go. Accept that. And then this other bus as well. This is the one we already checked. This one is going to set itself to the Workers Bus Short. Okay. I hope that does the trick. Yeah. I think that should help. That way we'll have more workers being picked up, but we also have more passengers being picked up. Right. Starting to get really busy over here. Workers bus, I just want to check one thing. You are in fact going up to all the way to here. Yes, okay, good. And the passenger bus as well. All the way up to there. Yes, okay, great. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Less wonderful is just the sheer number of people who are waiting to get picked up by a train at any point in time. But again, the trams should help with that. How is the construction proceeding? Looks like it is. Yep. Still making progress over here. Wonderful. We're very close, actually. We're excitingly close. This is also going pretty well, so that's good to see. Yeah, I'm glad we're building this ourselves. We don't have to pay for everything, right? Okay, so that's all that taken care of. We've taken care of... Again, I have to like go over the checklist in my head every time. Taking care of this, taking care of that. Taking a look at this, taking care of... Oh, taking a look at this, taking care of distribution as well. Forgot about that. Right, okay. Okay. Now down over here, this food factory still needs to be built as well as this fire station. Missing concrete. Really? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. It just got to be like it's working elsewhere or something. Everything's fine according to this. Must just be like missing concrete here before it can start, which, fair enough. We do have road connections. I could also shorten this a little bit. Probably not a terrible idea to make it easier to get there. Okay, so the tracks are being laid down. We've got this working out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the situation at Uprising Grad. Man, it is a rough spot. It is a rough spot. We've got a very densely populated area that is not seeing a lot of love. I wonder if we should try and sort out the food and meat problem here first. To do that, though, what we'll want to do is establish a middle, a middle distribution point, just like we did for Veteringrad, where stuff gets brought to a central location and then distributed. We're going to want to do the same thing down over here for Uprisingrad. What I'm thinking at present is we establish like a warehouse area up over here where everything gets stored and then gets sent down and around where it's necessary. It'll be very quick to bring it over to here. Do we have a lot of food and meat over here? We have a lot of food, a lot of clothes. We have some meat. Over here, food, clothes. We could instead just build a distribution center over here and treat this as our central area. The only problem is that there aren't any warehouses or anything. There are no road cargo stations, no warehouses, so it would be slow loading, which I think would bite us in the butt pretty bad when the time comes. Like, just a little bit more growth and it'll all fall apart. If it doesn't fall apart, you know, right from the start. So that's probably not ideal. I think we will have to establish a second, like, area, like warehouse, road cargo stations, meat storage, all that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and get this road upgraded, though. We will be auto-building this. Thank you very much. You done. All the way across. Liven up this area a little bit, right? So, like, segmented. Because of all the footpaths. Come on. Doesn't help to do it in the dark. I wish I'd started a bit sooner. But that's good. Let's go ahead and connect all of you as well. Go. Just because, I mean, it's a city, right? We should have proper proper roads and stuff established here. It's great to see how busy the area is as well, though. I gotta say, it's just cool to see just the level of activity. Okay, get these footpaths established as well. Stuff, good stuff. Hook you up over here. Yep. Yep, that looks like we're pretty much covered in terms of those upgrades. Turn off auto build again before a horrendous mistake happens. And what are we looking at here now? Okay, not too many workers, a couple passengers waiting from time to time, but hopefully being picked up pretty soon. What's the deal over here? Quite a few passengers waiting. What's the deal over here? Workers, quite a few waiting. But again, we'll see if our vehicles arrive quickly enough. What's traffic looking like? Well, that's just because the train was coming through. You know, I might actually change the short line. Where are you? Workers bus short. Might actually change you to include this waypoint on the way there and on the way back. There. Again, alleviate some of the traffic pressure in the center, right? I think that'll help a fair bit. Okay, good stuff. Now, I mean, there's so many things that I want to tackle, and I'm having a hard time picking what to tackle first. There's the food stuff. Which is arguably the most essential. There's work. I was hoping to establish the long-awaited medical university alongside another radio station and TV station right down the middle over here. That would provide a lot of employment for the folks over here, especially, and it would provide employment for the folks over here. Now, as far as setting up a warehouse for the distribution of food and clothes and all that stuff, I said I want to maybe do it over here. My initial thought was to do it somewhere over here, so it's, again, a bit more of a centralized location. But then there's a lot of backtracking, I guess. And with Veteringrad, it's not really a centralized location. The Veteringrad, you know, storage and redistribution, if you want to call it that, does happen more or less at the end of the city. Now, granted, it's a bit of a smaller city, but it is, you know, it's not like residential area is up over here as well, right? So I feel like it'll work just fine, just as it has done for Veteringrad. So I want to do that. I want to do that for employment. I want to do that for food. And I wanted to start getting our satellite city down as well, which is why if I seem a little paralyzed by choice, that's why. It's because I kind of am, because there's so much I want to do, and just don't know what order I want to do it in. So I apologize for that. But let's go ahead and do the food thing first. It is a bit more of an essential element. Crops, though, is concerning me a bit. That's the first step of the food solution, right? Like, we are still growing a little bit. There's some harvesting going on. What's your deal? And what's the deal over here? Are we stuck? Tons and tons of crops. Maybe we just need more trucks. I think maybe we're just moving it too slowly. You know what? Let's do that. You, I assume, go to more Grainsky. Yes, you do. So let's go ahead and add a couple more trucks on that line. Covered hull. Let's go with 3 more. Let's go with a few more, not a couple more. And let's duplicate you. over to these guys. Start one. I'll take... I don't want them arriving and going at the same time. What I want is a constant flow of crops, not a barrage of crops at any given time. And again, this is supposed to supplement what's already happening there, right? So it should be enough. But it's all a matter of, the timing of arrival of crops. Distribution office is hopefully... Yeah, we're picking up some crops over here. It's just taking its sweet time, obviously. Speak of the devil, like it gets done right as I click on it. Good stuff. We'll see how this progresses. Lots of crops now. Good. Now, do we have to improve the number of workers coming up over here as well, I wonder? I do wonder. Do we need to add another bus, perhaps? It's something we haven't considered in a long time. I haven't considered, I should say, in a long time, is what the situation is up over here. In terms of worker counts and all that. Like, 29 workers in this bus is not a lot. The bus that's coming right behind it is not really nearby. Is it really just the one bus? It really is, isn't it? Maybe we got a second one over here. IKR 280. Go ahead and purchase another IKR 280. Because I feel like it's a tough balance. But I want to make sure that as the crop amount increases... Oh, of course, now you bring 130 plus workers over. But I just want to make sure that as the availability of crops increases, we have the right number of workers coming through to work all of the industries over here. And it is also worth noting that we do have workers without jobs over here as well. So clearly people are coming to the bus stop, not getting picked up, and so maybe going back home. Go ahead and copy this schedule over to this bus over here and get you kicked off right away. And again, you can see over 100 workers. Of course, when I go to like solve a problem, I find out that it's not a problem. That's a full load. Now, granted, it's a full load. Does that mean workers have been left behind? Almost certainly, right? Where are we? Up over here? Yeah. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help. We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Okay, back down over here. So that's being, organized, or at least taken care of to a degree. I want to make sure I don't pack things up over here, though. I want to make sure there's room for our cars to be stored, right? Right now, cars are being stored up over here, and then they're going to get shipped down to maybe somewhere over here. Various industry? No. Engineering industry, I think. Space for vehicles. Small space for vehicles, or a large space for vehicles. Right now, this is the only space to buy cars from. It might be a terrible idea to make a large space. It's pretty close, so a constant supply is viable. The small one, the large one, they'll both fit in the area. Right up over here. So maybe I don't have to worry about that so much. Because my warehouse, my food distribution system might be up over here instead. I'm thinking. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. Okay, so what do we need? We need a warehouse. Well, we need a road cargo station, first of all. Let's use the modded one. I like when they're pass-through types. Sorry. Mod. Road cargo station. Every time. Cargo station. There it is. Road cargo station. Establish you... Like, I don't want to be too off the road. It's a one-way. We'll probably establish this up over here. Up over here, maybe? Let's see. Up over here, car coming down would loop out, go there, loop back in, and then choose which... then it wouldn't be, like, prevented by the one-way if it's coming back or anything like that, you know? Like, I won't have to take any of that into consideration. So I think that works. So let's go ahead and put you down over here. Again, we're just planning right now, not auto-building. Put you down over here. Road goes up, road goes down. Cars coming through. Go up or down. Again, you're coming from all the way over there. From all the way over here, you're going to pick some food and stuff up. You go down, you go over. Maybe we upgrade this road a little bit. Nah, this wouldn't be the fastest way down anyway. It would be here, go down. Maybe even continue down this way, go over. Down and over. I'm just wondering if I want to shorten, like, do I put a road down over here, maybe? I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference. We can toy around with that later. So, this is our cargo station. Great. The cargo station needs to load or unload into a warehouse. Now, do I want to do 2 cargo stations? I don't think that's a bad idea, actually, considering we're going to have a similar situation as Veterinkagrad, where it's going to be a lot of traffic, right? So let's go ahead and future-proof. Get rid of you. Let's go ahead and build mod road cargo station. So, okay, so if one still goes over here, where would the other one go? Oh, okay, let's keep this one down over here. Pop you down. If we have the warehouse, which stores food, clothes, and eventually electronics. We have the warehouse up over here. That road connection is primarily for fire trucks and stuff, just as a note. Put the warehouse down like over here. I don't want the sun up for this, don't I? Back road will go down behind it. Question is, where does the other cargo station slot in? Could also do this. Might work better. I think this might work better. Okay, let's wait for the sun, and then we'll get back to that. Ah, there it is. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. All right, so if you go down over here, get nice and tightly packed, I suppose. Why not? Well, I should have learned by now. Why not? Put you down over here, so you're connected, right? Great. But again, cars don't have, like, trucks don't have to go up there to load up. They go to here. That is great. That warehouse back out. Tooltip out of my way. That looks better. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. I want to make sure the road can still go out. Yes, it can. Gotta make sure the angles or the ups and downs are okay. Ups and downs. That's the official industry term for terrain going up and down. So we've got our warehouse. We've got our 1 cargo station. Great. We're gonna want to get our meat storage as well. Where are you? Meat storage. Up over here. Be more like this, I suppose. It's gonna be a little messy, isn't it? Let's see. If this is the meat storage. Right. Oh, gotta flatten. If this is the meat storage, then our other cargo station could go somewhere like here. Okay. Or like there. I kind of like that square in the middle. So if we do that, this actually might work nicely. This might work nicer than I'd initially anticipated. If we do this, right? A vehicle bringing the goods here, be it clothes, be it food, be it meat, will come to this cargo station and unload all of that to either the warehouse or the meat storage. I'll come up this way. Up over here. And the distribution office that's currently distributing to the stores will instead distribute to this. Okay, that's fine. So up over here, we're going to go ahead and build another medium distribution office, because let's be real, we're going to need it. We're going to build it up over here. Leave some room for a few of them to be added to the area. Yep. We're going to plant you down over here. Right there. Right there, rather. And connect the road like so. Too steep of an incline. Okay, not a problem, not a problem. Get rid of you. Go ahead and level terrain. Match this height. Instead, you know what? Let's pay for it. Use those American dollars. Look at how much money we have. Just look at that money we have. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Remember when we only had 2 million rubles? Remember those days? Wild to think about. Alright, that distribution office now can hopefully fit over here just fine. Indeed it can. Okay, so here's the deal. Make a little bit of room over here because we want to make sure that the road can extend to the left if necessary. Right, so pop you down there. You should be able to connect, and you should be able to extend, yes. Down over here. This is where things get interesting. Pull you down to here. Will you connect, or are you too close? Too close. This is unfortunate. Because it's like perfectly lined up, but then it wants to say this is too close. Okay. Cancel the road. And I instead do this first. Ah. This is where it gets messy. How does this work? How neat can I make this, really? Oh, there's the wire connection there. All right, let's wait until the sunrise again, I think, just so I can see clearly. All right, wonderful. That's actually looking a lot nicer than I'd anticipated. It's close enough to there to make a nice it's a good middle point. It really is. Like, that's a long distance to go. This is a good middle point, and from there, I mean, it's still a long distance to deliver down to here, but at least there's a central hub. I hope I'm not making a mistake over here. If we are, we can always course correct later. It's not the end of the world, but I think this will do the trick. Okay, so over here, let's go ahead and get this road established first. We'll connect like this. You will connect like... can we get a curve in here? Whoa, did not mean to click that. I gotta pull this out a little bit first, and then I can get the curve in. There we go. You will curve and connect over here. There we go. And you will loop back and connect over here. Can we make it a nicer, sharper loop? No. I don't know why it's doing that. Weird. It's got to be my computer. Nothing's changed in the game. Might be something up with my hand. I don't know. But either way, point being, vehicle comes through, bringing whatever, drops it off at this cargo station. It gets distributed, depending on what it's bringing. Meanwhile, up over here, the distribution office goes down over here, right into this cargo station, picks up whatever it needs to pick up, meat, food, clothes, what have you, electronics later on, and drives on down, right into the flow of the city. Should work pretty nicely. Now this... Okay. Backing up a little bit over here, and I don't like that. Backing up a fair bit over here. Now, a lot of it is because of construction material movement. So that's fine. It's like temporary, right? Again, I wish like construction offices and stuff would instead use the highway. Knowing that traffic's going to be a problem. I call it a highway, but flyover, I suppose, is the more appropriate term. I wish that was a bit smoother, for sure. But anyway, yeah, having this up over here before the one-ways begin should... Oh, wow, that was fast. Got that done right away. I guess Zavudska's working on this. Well, we got a couple of construction offices working on all this. So, yeah, this all being before the one-way should help in distribution of traffic, really, and just, like, not having useless U-turns and all going on. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right. Looking good overall. What are we looking at? Oh my god, it's the new year. It's 1997. Wild. What is our economy looking like? Apart from the beautiful numbers up over here, what is our import looking like? We are still importing some oil. That's because all the way up over here, this chemical plant is still buying oil. We're going to stop that. We're actually going to assign a couple of trucks to bring that oil over instead. Go ahead and find some... I mean, another way to do it is to use the distribution offices we have down over here, but I feel like that's a little ridiculous, maybe, to touch. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and just buy oil tank. Ship as much as possible to KMZ, always coming through. Let's go ahead and pick up 2. And you're just going to go ahead and continuously go... Where? Down to here. I think oil eventually will be bringing by trains up somewhere. We haven't like really established where it gets stored just quite yet, but we'll be able to eventually shorten this distance a fair bit. I wonder if I shouldn't work on that sooner rather than later. As this train arrives. Drop anything off? Are we even able to? We're not, eh? We're like topped up over here. I need more ships exporting fuel and bitumen. For sure. We are so topped up over there. Ridiculous. That's one of the other things I wanted to tackle. Thought maybe we'd get to it this session, but definitely no. One of the other things I wanted to tackle was establishing a... like, going over everything that we have in surplus and establishing their exports. Opski. Where are we? Rainrexki. You're the chemical plant, right? Yes, you. You know what? Might actually not be able to do this so prematurely. I might actually not be able to do this so prematurely because that oil or the chemicals from that plant are necessary for fabric and clothes and all that. And we have a good thing going up over here, so why ruin it? We're already missing oil. Yeah, okay, fine. You know what? Fine. Let's keep importing oil. It's not the end of the world for a little bit. Keep importing oil. And eventually, when we figure out our delivery mechanism for oil up over here, we'll change that around. I mean, do I really need bitumen up over here more than I need oil? Really, I mean, at the end of the day, we could shift everything as well. Right? We could just bring fabric directly up over here, or bring chemicals directly up over here, rather than bring oil to make fabric or chemicals or what have you. But anyway, this year, why are we importing fuel? Where do we import fuel? Let's see. Maybe some place didn't have fuel available? You're topped up. You're all topped up. All good over here. Have I missed a spot? All good over here. Looking at the numbers, it doesn't look like I've missed a spot. Might have just been some location somewhere didn't have enough for one truck or something that came through. Yeah, everything looks topped up to me. Oh, you know what? This was probably it. Probably. What did it? I could add a fuel connection over here to make sure these guys are getting refueled. I could have, yeah, geez, that's got to be it. Where is our distribution office over here? Yeah. Add you. Unload at the cargo harbor as well, please. Okay. That will hopefully do the trick here. Whoops. That's why we still have fuel paid for this year, is my assumption. It could also be somewhere else as well, but we'll keep an eye out for it. But this is, I mean, it's looking pretty good compared to last year. Again, there's a lot of construction included here as well, so that's maybe a little disingenuous. But yeah, no, I think it's getting there in terms of removing our dependencies on other nations. And this is looking really good. I really like how things are like squared off, and it's establishing so quickly as well. Obviously, we're playing at double speed, but it feels like some of the fastest construction, you know, double speed or not. But this should hopefully help feed the people of, feed and clothe, I should say, the people of Veterinkagrad. And again, then we'll look into establishing these. What should I prioritize? What do y'all think? Should the next step be to establish more work for Uprising Grad, establish our medical university, establish our radio station and TV station over here? Should that be our next step? Or should our next step be to look around the nation and see all the products we have a surplus of and try and figure out their export, try and figure out what we're doing with them to, you know, so they're not just kind of sitting there looking pretty. We have a lot of that going on, actually. Clicked on the worst possible spot for evidence of that. But if we click down over here, you'll see there's, you know, there's a lot of bricks that are just not doing anything. We don't have to build something to use them, but we should maybe consider exporting them. Down over here, I mean, we are topped up on fuel almost constantly. Obviously, as I go to check, we're not. But do we want to add another ship to export maybe fuel and bitumen to the west? There's a lot of money to be made there. Is that something we want to consider? Like, there's a lot to consider when it comes to our export and how much of any given resource we have. If I take a look, actually... Production of... Oh, yeah, there we go. Now, it doesn't tell us storage, but for that, we'd look over here, resource status. Yeah, all map. Total amount in buildings. Like, we can maybe take a look at this and try and get an understanding of, you know, what we really need to look into exporting to even further strengthen our economy. As strong as it is right now, it could always be stronger, right? So maybe we do that. Maybe we do the expansion to Uprising Grad, or maybe it's time to get this industry up and running. Oh, are we close? Are we close? Are we close? We're almost there. We're so close. Next session, for sure, working at double speed, we should see the tracks get completed. Alright, so it looks like, yeah, ours won't be active, like won't be produced next session, but perhaps the session after that we're going to kick off this industry. So yeah, maybe we got to figure out what we do. And I'm curious to know what y'all think we should focus on first. Our economy is doing pretty well. These people, maybe not so much. So maybe it is a matter of expanding Uprising Grad next time. But folks, it will have to be next time. This might seem like a minor addition to Uprising Grad, but I think it's going to make a world of difference in just the efficiency of distribution of products over here. Again, another session where we've accomplished a fair bit in terms of just making sure that people are feeling good, doing good, fixed up some of our issues from last session as well, especially when it comes to the distribution of goods up in Veteringrad, which I believe, again, should be doing quite well. Yes, oh man, I'm so pleased. Just so pleased. Might want to add, not enjoying sport and stuff. That's interesting. People not able to get their food still. Yeah, it's, you know, a little bit of fluctuation, obviously, here and there, but overall still looking pretty good. Pretty good. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, how I go about doing it. Y'all are familiar with the drill by now. And again, if you've been enjoying the content on the channel, whether it is this or this and other things, or just the channel in general, please don't hesitate maybe to check out my Patreon or to become a channel member. Links for both of those are in the description down below, and then respectively under the eye at the top right corner of the screen, or the giant join button that should be right below the video as well. On which note, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big ol' thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, das vidanya.